Okay, so I let the hard ground cascade over the plate, and then wherever it wasn't seeming to reach, I just used the edge of the foam brush and I just dragged it up a little bit. And again, I'm keeping a very, very light hand because I don't want to disturb the sugar lift, okay? And I also don't want to create brush strokes. So any brush strokes that get created, they'll sort of reabsorb as it dries and sets up. Okay, so don't worry about that too much. The important thing is that you only touch the surface of the plate a couple of times with your brush, because as soon as you pour the hard ground, it already starts to cure and set up. And so as it gets a little tackier and a little drier, every time you go over it, you're just going to be disturbing that even ground and creating more unevenness and visible brush strokes and things like that. And you could actually be disturbing your line work if you have some very delicate fine line work in there, okay? So I'm going to now clean both of these with Gamsol if I want to. Otherwise, I could let this air dry in, in a well-ventilated space and just have this be a little bit dirty and use it the next time I have to pour out a little bit of stop out or liquid hard ground, what have you, okay? So, I might not even bother interacting with the Gamsol just for the sake of cleaning this. I'll just let it dry naturally. As long as it's not dripping down the side, I'm just gonna set it here on the plastic. This, on the other hand, I really do want to clean out, so I will get a little bit, maybe like a paper towel with a little bit of Gamsol, and just squeeze it out carefully. The paper towel, anything that has Gamsol on it, is flammable, okay? So you want to make sure that that paper towel dries out. You want to put it in a ventilated area so that it will dry and any of the flammable stuff will start to evaporate. And then dispose of it carefully. So that's the best advice for that. And what I'm going to do now is that I don't want that edge to really get gunked up with a thick layer of the hard ground. So as soon as I have it nice and even, I'm going to bring it over here and let it dry. And I'm actually going to take this grate and I'm going to set it somewhere safe where it can dry naturally. And then the rest of this I can actually decant back into this cup. So the nice thing about a photo tray, which I'm sorry that maybe some of you might not have one, but if you have something similar that you can devise for this purpose, it's really helpful because I can just sort of pour the excess back into that yogurt cup. Okay. Let it drip because, the liquid hard ground is slow moving. So if you let it just sort of hang out and drip for a few minutes, you'll be able to preserve more of it. And then with this, I can actually put this carefully back into the master container. So, with the uncontaminated hard ground that we can reuse, okay? So there we go. The next thing that I want to do is be sure to wipe out this tray, okay? So again, it's a lot easier to do it when it's fresh. So again, with my gloves and a paper towel, I'm just going to take as much of that out as I can. The idea is that when I'm cleaning things up, I do it using as little solvent as possible. So that's something that I can clean up more or less dryly, just with paper, wipe it up while it's still fresh. then I don't need to pour a bunch of Gamsol on here and, you know, waste resources and expose myself to solvents, okay? So again, I'm on my back porch. I'm in a very well ventilated area. It's screened in, but I'm outdoors. So if you do this approach, please really, really choose your space wisely. It only takes a few minutes, so if you have to go outside, you know, in your backyard or the driveway or something like that, that's fine. Okay. All right, so that is the prep and harground stage of the sugar lift. And then when I come back, once it's set up and dry, I will show you how to lift the ground with hot water. So I'm gonna clean this tray out so that I can use it again as my hot water bath. Okay, see you in a few.